Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio. Welcome to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and today we're highlighting a case that began over 2 decades ago. On August 28, 2003, a mother of 5 vanished without a trace from Atlanta, Georgia, leaving behind an abandoned car with a blood-stained blanket inside and more questions than answers. What started as a routine day of running errands became the beginning of a mystery that would haunt a family for 21 years. In 2024, the Atlanta Police Department reopened this case, giving new hope to a family that never stopped searching for the truth. This is the story of Dymashal Dee Dee Cullins. Dymashal Dee Dee LaShawn Cullins was born on June 12, 1971. By 2003, at 32 years old, she had built a life centered around her 5 children and her career as a real estate loan officer in Atlanta, Georgia. Friends and family knew her by her nickname, Dee Dee, a name that she had actually gotten tattooed on the right side of her neck, with a dove and a rose. At the time of her disappearance, Dee Dee was going through a lot of life changes. She had married in 1999, but later separated from her husband. However, in the month that she vanished, he had moved back in with her as they considered reconciling their marriage. But things appeared complex around this time, because Dee Dee was also dating another man. When she disappeared, Dee Dee stood 5'6" with both of her ears pierced, and her naturally dark hair was colored light brown. Aside from her Dee Dee neck tattoo, she had a rose tatted on her right shoulder blade. Dee Dee was a working mother juggling the demands of 5 children, including twins, while also navigating the complexities of life. According to her family, she was the kind of mother who went above and beyond for her children. Her son Kobe recalls one time finding party decorations, 2 trash bags filled with water balloons, and a water slide hidden at home. She was planning exactly what he had hoped for, a splash birthday party. But Kobe never got that party. Dee Dee vanished right before she could give him that celebration that she was secretly preparing. She was a thoughtful, caring mother and the type of woman who would go to great lengths to make her kids smile. Her family describes her as someone who never gave up, who fought for what she wanted, and who always put her children first. August 28, 2003, started like any other Thursday for Dee Dee. She left her Atlanta home that morning to run errands. She wasn't driving her own car that day, but instead had borrowed a friend's red 1994 Jeep Grand Cherokee with Georgia license plate number 11HE9. The last confirmed sighting of Dee Dee came at 11:52 a.m. near the 600 block of Mayland Avenue in Atlanta. She was seen in that red Jeep, going about what appeared to be a normal day. But as the hours passed, Dee Dee's day would take an unknown turn that would change the course of everything. As evening approached, Dee Dee had been staying in contact with her family. At 7:00 p.m., she spoke with her mother, a conversation that seemed routine and gave no indication that anything was wrong. Then, at 11:32 p.m., Dee Dee's ex-husband called her. This would be the last time anyone would hear from Dee Dee Cullins. During that final call, she told him that she had just dropped a friend off and would be home shortly, but she never made it home. After that 11:32 p.m. phone call, her phone was turned off, and her 5 children would go to bed that night not knowing that they would never see their mother again. As the hours turned to days and days turned to weeks, there was no sign of Dymashal. Her family contacted police and a missing person investigation began. There are so many questions surrounding her disappearance. Did Dee Dee come in contact with someone dangerous? Where was the red Jeep that she had been driving? And most importantly, where was Dee Dee? 3 weeks after her disappearance, the answer to at least one of those questions would emerge. And it would only deepen the mystery. The red 1994 Jeep Grand Cherokee was discovered abandoned at an apartment complex near the 3500 block of Clubhouse Drive, East in Decatur, Georgia. The car had been sitting there for who knows how long, unnoticed in the busy apartment complex. When investigators had examined the vehicle, what they found inside painted a disturbing picture. Dee Dee's purse was still inside, along with a blood-stained blanket. There was red dirt on the driver's side of the car, dirt that could hold clues about where the vehicle had been. But perhaps most puzzling of all, Dee Dee's ID cards were found on the ground next to the abandoned vehicle. The person who had discovered them mailed them to her home address. When investigators tracked down this Good Samaritan, they interviewed him extensively, found nothing unusual, and ultimately cleared him as a suspect. Authorities discovering the abandoned car with the bloodstained blanket inside really had transformed the dynamics of Dee Dee's missing persons case into something much more troubling. The blood evidence suggested that something violent might have occurred. But where was the mother of 5? Was she injured somewhere? Had she been killed? The Atlanta Police Department launched a full investigation. Detectives interviewed family members, friends, and anyone who might have information about her whereabouts. They looked into her personal relationships, including the very complicated dynamic with her ex-husband, who had recently moved back in, as well as the other man she happened to be dating at the time. But despite their efforts, the case began to grow cold. As months turned to years, Dee Dee's 5 children grew up without their mother. Her youngest son, Kobe, was just a child when his mother vanished. As he grew older, he became determined to find answers about what happened to his mother. The family never gave up hope, even as the case remained unsolved year after year. They held on to the belief that somewhere out there, someone knew what happened to Dee Dee Cullins on that August night in 2003. By 2010, the Atlanta Police Department had officially closed the case. For Dee Dee's family, this was devastating. It felt like the system had given up on finding their loved one. But her son refused to let his mother's case be forgotten. As an adult, Kobe began advocating for the case to be reopened. He created a GoFundMe campaign to raise money for search efforts and to hire a private investigator. In his campaign, he stated that the funds would also be used to support other missing women in our Atlanta area. The family began distributing flyers with Dee Dee's information, hoping that someone, somewhere, would remember something that could be the key to solving the case. Their persistence and advocacy began to pay off. Not long after they launched their renewed efforts, authorities made a surprising announcement of their own. In 2024, 21 years after Dee Dee's disappearance, the Atlanta Police Department made an announcement that would reignite hope for the Cullins family. The case was being reopened. The decision to reopen the investigation represented a new opportunity to apply modern investigative techniques and technology to a case that had grown cold for over 2 decades. For Kobe and the rest of Dee Dee's family, this was the moment that they had been waiting for. After years of advocacy, fighting for answers, and never giving up hope, law enforcement was once again actively investigating what happened to Dee Dee Cullins. As the investigation was reopened, interesting connections began to emerge. Web sleuths started noticing similarities between Dee Dee's case and another missing woman from the same time period. Marcy Crane Peterson had vanished from Marietta, Georgia, just 20 miles from Atlanta, in October 2003, only 2 months after Dee Dee's disappearance. The similarities were striking. Both women worked in the real estate industry. Both had 5 children. Both were married but separated and dating other men. Some investigators and internet detectives began to wonder, could these 2 women have been dating the same mystery man? Could their disappearances be connected somehow? The reopening of Dee Dee's case brings new hope, but also new questions. 21 years have passed since that night. Witnesses' memories have faded, evidence may have been lost or compromised, and some people who might have had information may no longer be alive. But modern investigative techniques that weren't available in 2003, advanced DNA analysis, improved database systems, and other new forms of technology might provide the breakthrough that investigators need. The bloodstained blanket found in the abandoned car could hold crucial DNA evidence and might be worth taking another look at. Today, Dee Dee Cullins would be 53 years old. The question that still haunts the Cullins family and investigators is simple. What happened to Dee Dee after that final phone call on August 28, 2003? Did she encounter someone she knew? Was she the victim of a random crime? Or was there something more sinister at play? For the Cullins family, the goal isn't just to find out what happened to Dee Dee. It's to bring her home. After 21 years of not knowing, they deserve answers. Her loved ones deserve to know what happened to her. My thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of Dymashal Dee Dee Cullins. Anyone with information about her disappearance should contact the Atlanta Police Department. You can find their information as well as the GoFundMe set up by her son Kobe in the description box below. As we close out this episode, don't forget to click the follow button to stay updated on Dee Dee's case and others like it. Be sure to subscribe to Hunting for Answers on YouTube and follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more true crime content and case updates. If you're watching us on YouTube, drop your thoughts on this case in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode. Until next time. Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network. For more podcasts from the Black Effect Podcast Network, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.